before I got there was the first ever engagement using night vision goggles. Are you sure? Yeah, we're sure. It's Iranian. They're putting a mine in the ocean. Okay, take them out. It was the hardest flying I think I've ever done. So I find out about the unit and I'm thinking, I read Tom Clancy books. This sounds pretty freaking cool. The Thai Special Forces went out and basically told the people that live there, we're going to shoot the shit out of this area and you need to clear out. You can come back on Saturday. That's a range.
On Saturday. That's got to be a staunch difference from the 101st to working with SEAL Team 6 right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, where you come out of there experienced and feeling good about who I was as a pilot, and then heard about this special unit. And,
how'd you hear about it?
So it literally was in a bar. I mean, there's a guy there whispering about, they just formed this unit at Fort Campbell, counter-terrorist. They were going to go in and rescue the hostages in Iran, because not everybody knows this, but there was a second attempt that was going to happen. Everybody knows about Eagle Claw. Not everybody, but people that follow the military. But not everyone knows that there was a second attempt going to be made, and that's the birth of the 160th. The 160th was put together and conducting rehearsals and modifying aircraft and in order to be better prepared for the second go-around. Because the reason Eagle Claw didn't work as well as it should have is it was just kludged together. It was not treated like a joint readiness train up. It was grab these helicopters here and these pilots here and stick them on this ship. And, they're just going to all meet in the desert and go assault the target. There was not an adequate train up or preparation, and the results were catastrophic. So anyway, this unit's formed, and the best decision that could have ever been made with regard once the hostages got released, I'm sure most people may not remember this, but when Ronald Reagan took office, within days, the hostages all got released. And so now you got this task force that has been created to go do a rescue that doesn't need to be done. What do you do? Well, somebody went to the Hill and said, we got to maintain this. I mean, you just don't know where it's going to happen next. And if you try to throw together assets at the 11th hour, the outcome is probably going to be the same as it was in Eagle Claw. So there was a decision made to maintain the unit, and that was the birth of the 160th.
So TF-16, no shit. What year was that?
Early 80s. I mean, probably 83, 82, 83. Because I'm in Korea in 85, 86.
So was the unit was TF-160 already stood up, or were you one of the initial pilots?
No, I'm not one of the plank holders. I wasn't too far behind, but some of the plank holders obviously were still there. But no, I was not.
Okay.
So I find out about the unit, and I'm thinking, I read Tom Clancy books. This sounds pretty freaking cool, and it did. I'd love to do that. And I go to Fort Campbell. I'm assigned to the 101st.
What year is this?
88.
Shit, so they've only been around for 5 years?
Yeah.
Fuck, man, that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it was still in its early stages of development.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know how this works. So I sign in when I get to Fort Campbell, sign in the 101st, and then I go to the bunker. It's this clandestine looking place that no one would know was even there. And I go talk to the recruiter for the 160th and said, hey, I'd like to assess. And he says, okay, so what's your status? And I said, well, I just signed in the 101st. He said, I mean, we could go to bat for you and try to get you out of that. But to us, you're not that valuable because, you got a fair amount of flight time. I think I had 800 hours, but you haven't done a lot of multi-ship. You don't have a ton of night vision goggle time. Why don't you do some time in the 101st? Build up that experience, and then come back. And I'm like, all right. So I went and did 2 years in the 101st, went to instructor pilot course, built a lot of multi-ship formation time, night vision goggle time, and then I went back. And it's a pretty robust selection process and training process. And I'm fortunate in that I'm not a great athlete. I'm a decent scholar. I'm not all that good looking. I can't run all that fast, but I could fly a freaking Black Hawk. I mean, it was like it was an extension of me. That is how it felt. When I strapped that thing on, it's like I just felt part of it and had enough, intellectual capacity to be able to manage all the systems. And then another part of flying that I don't think most people appreciate, certainly those kind of missions, is you have to have a perspective that is larger than just yourself. You have to, where's the ground force? Where's the other aircraft? Where's the threat? Where's the weather? Where's the terrain? All those things you're constantly, they're changing, they're dynamic, and you got to keep track of all that in addition to doing all this. So, and I was good at all that. I mean, I'm not suggesting I was the GOAT, but I was pretty damn good. And so I didn't really struggle with assessment or the training at all. I mean, the washout rate is fairly high, but I got through it pretty well. And it's, it's physical fitness, it's a psych eval, it's a swim test, it's land nav, it's, life saving, it's all that stuff, And it was so early on in the development of the unit that we didn't have what is now Special Operations Aviation Training Battalion. We didn't have anything. The training was done by operational unit guys. So your instructor is a flight line guy who just got assigned to go provide flight instruction for these new guys. There was no...
It's like a extra duty.
Right. Now, my class was actually the first green platoon class. So it's just coming to life. They
what does that mean, green platoon class?
It's the training. It's like green team, right? It's the curriculum and the.
So you're the first one that actually went through a pipeline
In green platoon, yes. There was the first class.
Shit.
Now, there's been training before, obviously, but it was all sort of ad hoc, right?
Yeah.
But we were the first ones to actually go through green platoon.
We talk a lot on this show about protecting your family and being prepared for the worst case scenario. But there's one area of protection that a lot of us, myself included, for a long time tend to procrastinate on, and that's life insurance. I've had term life insurance for several years now, and I remember the exact moment I realized I needed it. It was right around the time my son was born. I started thinking about the mortgage, the kid's education, and all the expenses I'd want covered if the unthinkable happens and I'm not here to provide for them anymore. But having a plan in place is what actually allows you to breathe easier. If you've been putting this off because you think it's too expensive or too much of a hassle, you need to check out Fabric by Gerber Life. Fabric by Gerber Life is term life insurance you can get done today, made for busy parents like you, all online, on your schedule, right from your couch. You could be covered in under 10 minutes with no health exam required. A lot of people assume their work-life insurance is enough, but most policies don't provide nearly enough coverage and don't follow you if you leave your job. Fabric offers affordable, high-quality life insurance up to $1 million in coverage for less than $1 a day. Fabric is partnered with Gerber Life, trusted by families just like yours for over 50 years. And Fabric is rated excellent on Trustpilot with over 1,900 five-star reviews. There's no risk, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can cancel at any time. Join the thousands of parents who trust Fabric to help protect their family. Apply today in just minutes at meetfabric.com/srclips. That's meetfabric.com/srclips. meetfabric.com/srclips. Policies issued by Western Southern Life Assurance Company, not available in certain states. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions. Wow. So you're damn near a plank. You're a plank owner of the training platoon.
I guess so. I guess you can say that. Yeah.
Right on.
And I'm a world record holder.
And you're a world record holder.
So, like I said, it wasn't a huge challenge for me. Navigation's hard. When you're in the NVGs and there's not a lot of terrain to deal with, which is pretty much the case in this part of the country. I mean, there's hills, but when you're up at a couple hundred feet, the hills don't pop out like they do when you're on the ground. The navigation's a bit of a challenge. If there's anything I'm not great at, I would say it's land navigation. But we were getting technology in the cockpit that was a huge help. We had Omega systems at the time, which are rudimentary versions of GPS. They're not using satellites, but it's basically a digital navigation capability. Now, we were not allowed to rely on that. We had to use the map and planning and time and speed and figure all that out. I did it good enough to pass, is all I can say. But everything else I was really good at, and got through Green Platoon, got the beret put on by another fellow New Hampshire boy, the coach, we call him, now General, retired Daly, great American, just a great, been shot down 7 times in Vietnam.
Holy shit.
Just anyway, I have there's a special place in all our hearts who know him, for him. And he's still with us. But anyhow, he put my beret on me, and now I'm feeling really good, right? I'm a member. I'm a card carrying member of this organization. And right out of the gate, the first training mission, we're going to Thailand with ST-6, all on one bird. And they arrive, 2 fast boats on the aircraft. We put 2 helicopters on the aircraft and fly over there for a training mission. We had been given what we call relaxed grooming standards, meaning we could grow our hair long. That doesn't happen all that often in the Army, right? So I'm thinking, this really is a Tom Clancy book, and who are we fooling? Nobody. But anyway, we land over there in the middle of the night. We offload all this stuff, stick it in a hangar, and we went about just doing everything under the sun for the next 3 weeks. Live fire. I mean, what amazed me is that these are not ranges, okay? The Thai Special Forces went out and basically told the people that live there, we're going to shoot the shit out of this area, and you need to clear out. You can come back on Saturday. That's a range.
Saturday.
That's a range, okay? So we're out there firing miniguns, everything else. And, I mean, we slept in the jungle one night, because it was a bilat between the 6 guys and the Thai Special Forces. And anyhow, we did some jumping with them. Just everything. I mean, it was everything I imagined it would be. And
but that's got to be a staunch difference from the 101st to working with SEAL Team 6 right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, where you couldn't afford freaking pens and pencils to do your mission planning. Now, now it's like, what do you need?
Yeah, the golden Connex box.
Absolutely. I will say that the 6 guys, some of them partied a little too much at the end.
No.
I know it comes as a shock. And they actually had to be dropped off in Hawaii because they were in that bad a shape. They were so dehydrated. Maybe it was from their time in the jungle. I'm not sure.
I'm sure.
But I always love working with them. We work with them quite a bit. And, this whole who's better, 6 or Delta, irrelevant to me. I'm honored to say I trained and flew both organizations fairly regularly and have tremendous respect for both communities. And anyway, that's out of the gate. And then within a year, within 6 months, I deploy on my first real world op, Operation Prime Chance. It also goes by the name Ernest Will. The Iranians and the Iraqis were having a skirmish, and the Iranians, as part of this, were mining the Persian Gulf, and they were hitting oil tankers. And I think it was Reagan reflagged some foreign ships under U.S. flag to justify using our military to defend these ships. That may not be exactly right, but I believe that was the rationale behind the reflagging. It's easier to sell if you say these are U.S. ships transitioning to the Persian Gulf at risk of being blown up by the Iranians. That's why we got special ops units on oil derricks in the Persian Gulf, blasting the Iranian boats that they catch laying mines. It was winding down by the time I got there. Before I got there was the first ever engagement using night vision goggles. It was one of our unit guys, little bird gun. They've stone cold caught the Iranians dropping the tail on this bog hammer, I think they were called, on video. There's a mine, and they're pushing it off. And of course, you got to get friggin' permission from the head shed all the way back in DC. You know, like, are you sure? Yeah, we're sure. It's Iranian. They're putting a mine in the ocean. Okay, take them out. And it was the Iranajar was the name of the boat. And that the steering wheel for the Iranajar is still hanging in the regimental headquarters at the unit. And there were survivors. And one of the survivors, so one of the rockets configurations for our 2.75-inch rockets is a flechette. It has 2,000 little darts in it, basically. And it flies out, I don't remember what distance, maybe 400 meters. The nose cone opens and these darts go out and you hit a much broader area. Obviously, you're not going to take out, an armored vehicle with it. But if you're trying to take out, troops in the open or whatever, it's a very effective weapon. And one of the Iranians had a flechette in his face when he got captured. And I don't remember which SEAL team it was, but they were on the oil derrick with us. So they boarded the ship, captured these guys, put them on the helicopters, brought them back. Again, this is before I got there, but it was the first night vision goggle engagement in history. I will say this about that mission. It was the hardest flying I think I've ever done, because the sandstorms blow through there just like they do in the desert, but you're over the water and you can't see shit. I mean, we would describe it as flying inside a ping pong ball. I mean, imagine what you could see inside a ping pong ball. Man. Nothing, right? And you're 30 feet over the water and, flying 100 plus miles an hour, 110 knots usually is what we flew. And it was tough. And then we're landing on this very tight oil platform. It was not designed for helicopters. And we're putting little birds, Black Hawks, the customers, us, sport people, all on this thing. As I was coming up here, I was trying to think of what's the best way to describe this. And the thing that came to mind, never thought of before, was Thunderdome. I don't know if you remember the Mad Max movie where they're out over the water. That was kind of what it was like. I mean, it's coming out of the water in the middle of the Persian Gulf, and we're putting all these assets on it and launching these missions from this place. Our forward operating location was in Bahrain, and we would fly out to the oil platform from Bahrain, when we did a crew swap or bring the customers out or back or whatever.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.